Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Travis and Susie here from the Wolf Hunterz, and we got a reaction video for you. We got this link right here. You can find that link in the description box, which is below the video. There's a link. Click it and pick it. You can request music, movie scenes, comedy skits, live performances, documentary segments, and more for the Wolf Hunterz Reactions channel. Today's video is brought to you by Greg in East Tennessee, bringing us the story of Frank Marino. Greg says,
I ran across this whilst cruising YouTube. I didn't know all this. It's sad, but it's interesting. Since we've done a few Frank Marino songs lately, I thought this would be appropriate. Be well, Greg.
all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and feel free to comment below.
Welcome back to Great Guitarist of the Rock Era. They say legends are born from passion, talent, and a touch of rebellion. When it comes to rock and roll, you embody these qualities like Frank Marino. Before we get started, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell for more stories.
Ding.
Francesco Antonio Marino was born November 20th, 1954 in Montreal, Canada. Best known as the leader of Canadian hard rock band Mahogany Rush. Often compared to Jimi Hendrix, he is described as one of the most underrated guitarists of the 1970s. Marino started playing drums at the age of 5, but in 1968, at the age of 13, he blew his mind on LSD, a journey that ended his school career at 7th grade and also landed him in a mental hospital.
That's awfully young.
7th grade?
Wow. Wonder how he got a hold of that.
Dang.
In those days, people had no idea what to do with a kid who had dropped so much acid. So they sent me to the psychiatric ward of the Montreal Children's Hospital, he says. They put me in there hoping it would help me, which ultimately it did not. But what did help is that while I was there, I learned to play music. They kept pianos and things around for the kids to use. And there was a guitar, a Peep Stella acoustic. So I said, I'll play this. It was really more a way to keep my mind off what was happening to me, because what was going on in my head was terrifying. Marino spent a year going in and out of the hospital. During that time, he also became shockingly proficient on the guitar. It progressed incredibly quickly, he says. At the time, I didn't understand why, but now I understand that psychologically, if your mind is open enough and believing enough, what may take a few years, you can do much faster. Plus, in my state of mind, I hung on to that guitar the way a person would grab a piece of shipwreck if he was drowning in the ocean. It was a lifeboat for me.
Wow.
Too long after Marino exited the hospital, he began playing around Montreal with the 3-piece band. He had a band name, Mahogany Rush. That, he says, wasn't actually a band name at all. It was the name of an experience, he clarifies. It was a description of the acid trip I was on. I told the doctors I was having mahogany rushes. Their music wasn't about just notes and chords. It was a journey, a sonic adventure that pushed the boundaries of rock music. Mahogany Rush cycled through numerous members until it solidified around bassist Paul Harwood and drummer Jimmy Iommi. They began building up a following in the Montreal area. In those days, we would just go out and do free shows. You take your amps and a generator, and you start playing, he says. We'd get a couple thousand people hanging around, smoking grass, and listening to psychedelic music. Eventually, a small American label traveled to Montreal with an offer to have them record an album. And I refused, Marino says. I didn't want to make a record, because coming from that hippie background, it was not cool to be commercial, I said. That's establishment shit. But how they convinced me to do it is, they said, we'll allow you to go into this place called a studio, and we'll give you a lot of equipment to play with. And you can do whatever you want. I mean, they let a 16-year-old kid produce his first album.
Wow.
Who would say no to that?
Awesome.
The result was 1972's Zoom, a mishmash of jammy rock, hard funk, blues, psychedelia, and pop, all strung together by Marino's
Wow.
fiery guitar playing.
Wow.
The music style, not to mention Marino's guitar,
I think like mixing genres too, like wasn't really a big thing back then. Like that's like more recent in my opinion.
and vocal approach reminded many of Jimi Hendrix, a comparison that was heightened by the fact that Marino dedicated the album and a song to the late guitarist.
Hmm.
Child of Novelty was released in 1974. Strange Universe in 1975. Mahogany Rush 4 in 1976.
Wow.
And World Anthem was released in 1977
Damn.
and was billed
That's a lot
as
of writing.
Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. They closed the show at 1978. Cal Jam 2. Mahogany Live was released in 1978 also.
Wow.
Tales of the Unexpected was released in 1979. What's Next in 1980.
Wow.
The Power of Rock and Roll in 1981 was just billed as Frank Marino, and Juggernaut in 1982. After a short break, Full Circle was released in 1986, and From the Hip was released in 1990. Also in 1990, Marino opened his own recording studio, Star-based studio in Montreal, Canada. Marino reformed Mahogany Rush with new members in 2000. I always knew we had fans. I just didn't know I'd find 500,000 of them on the web, he said in an interview with Guitar Player in 2005.
That must have been nice.
He released Eye of the Storm and went on tour again, once again billed as Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. He has a Blu-ray 3 DVD combo of a live 6-hour 56-song concert at the Agora Theater for sale on his website.
The Agora.
His playing style is a
Been there a few
combination
times.
of blues, heavy rock, and jazz fusion techniques. His style has influenced many guitar players, including Zakk Wylde, Joe Bonamassa, Eric Gales, Vinnie Moore, and Paul Gilbert. Frank Marino wasn't just another guitar hero. He was a rebel with 6 strings, challenging the status quo and redefining what it's meant to shred. From blistering solos to soulful melodies, Marino's music spoke to the hearts of millions, inspiring generations of rockers to pick up the guitars and play. Today, the legacy of Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush lives on, reminding us that true rock and roll never dies. So crank up the volume and let the music of Marino and Mahogany Rush take you on a wild ride you'll never forget.
Crank up the
Thanks for
volume.
watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to help the channel out.
Wow.
And keep shredding.
Keep shredding. I love getting to hear, about the history of a band, or how an artist or group of artists came to be. This story, like you said, is a little sad. You don't want to hear about a kid experiencing something that must have been just so frightening, let alone, we don't know what that meant for him health wise, but to be stuck in some kind of psychosis is I can't imagine how frightening that must be for a kid or for anyone.
And then have to be away from your family for how long because you're in a facility.
Yeah,
and things like
that just sounds very frightening.
Yeah.
It's amazing that
trauma really had a good ending.
Yeah, he took that.
Yeah.
He made lemonade, right? He took the lemons and he really made lemonade.
Yeah.
And that is a nice thing, a good outcome to something that could have been way worse in the end.
Really clung to that guitar. Holy smokes.
I'm glad that there was a guitar.
Yeah.
If nothing else. So
thanks for sharing that. I love this stuff. Fun facts, documentary stuff, like all these kinds of things. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Guys, if you want to request your own reaction video, look for this link in the description box below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Stay tuned. Stay positive.
We love you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I just wanna bang my